In this video, we will talk about 10 things that make the SF90 Stradale the greatest Ferrari ever made. So make sure to watch the full video. Having just spent some thoroughly splendid time in Ferrari's amazing new SF90 plug-in hybrid supercar, I had a look back at all the technology that makes it work so well in almost everything it does. And there is no single thing that stands out for this bella macchina. Rather, it is the melding of all the parts and systems working seamlessly together that creates what is now my new all-time favorite sports or supercar ever. It offers all the power and handling of the best of the class without beating the living linguini out of you. Scroll down to see all the work Ferrari did to make the Scuderia Ferrari 90 the worthy successor to the LaFerrari, Enzo, F50, F40, and 288 GTO. There's a lot going on under that sensuous skin. 1. The looks. This is the most beautiful shape since the P4. There, I said it. Go ahead and argue all you want, but what is more beautiful than this? Granted, it is derivative and clearly evolved from the F8, 488, 458, 360, etc., but it is the most beautiful evolution of them all. 2. The aerodynamics. Every square centimeter of that beautiful shape serves a practical purpose. Air must be routed to cool the internal combustion engine, the cabin, e-powertrain, and numerous radiators. Even the wheels suck air out through the brakes to cool them. In back, the active aero utilizes two wings. For low-drag, high-speed driving like down the Hunaudier Straight, the air flows between the two levels. For low-speed, high-downforce corners, like at the Nürburgring, a feature called the shut-off gurney flap lowers blocks the airflow under the top wing and forces it up, creating 860 pounds of downforce at 186 miles per hour. Underneath the car, on the flat underside, are two vortex generators that increase downforce by 30% compared to the F8. 3. The engine. The 4.0-liter twin-turbo internal combustion V8 769 HP makes it the most powerful V8 in Ferrari history, and just 50 HP shy of the V12 in the limited edition 812 Competizione. You may think you see similarities to the twin-turbo V8 in the F8 and 488, and even the California T, but almost everything on this engine has been changed for the SF90. It has new intake and exhaust camshafts for higher flow capacity and better turbulence, new crankshaft, conrods, cylinder liners, and pistons, a new intake manifold with reduced volume for optimized volumetric efficiency and knock mitigation, a bigger exhaust manifold for reduced pumping losses, and new intake and exhaust lines. 4. The hybrid components. The SF90 is Ferrari's first plug-in hybrid. The 2013 LaFerrari, you'll recall, was not a plug-in, just a hybrid. The hybrid system is pretty complex, said Luca Poggio, head of Ferrari's hybrid department. Only if you have to design it. To explain it is much easier. There are 3 electric motors, all fed from a slim 7.9 kilowatt-hours battery mounted like a cross-brace just behind the seats. The rearmost battery is pizza thin and pizza round and is called MGUK, Motor Generator Unit, Kinetic. Ferrari says the name and the technology comes from F1. It's bolted in between the engine and the 8-speed DCT transmission, just aft of the flywheel on the longitudinally mounted mid-rear V8. Up front are 2 more electric motors, each driving its own front wheel to better allow torque vectoring and all its benefits. The 3 electric motors make 217 HP, so that altogether this powertrain makes 986 HP. I know you've seen the figure 1000 HP for the SF90, but that is in Cavallino, or CV, a sort of metric Italian horsepower. 5. The DCT. Aft of the V8 and rear electric motor is an all-new 8-speed DCT transmission that completes the powertrain perfectly. Ferrari says the SF90 Stradale sports a completely redesigned 8-speed, oil-bath, dual-clutch transmission. New gear ratios and improved efficiency reduce fuel consumption by 8% on the overly optimistic European WLTP cycle. Like the V8, the DCT uses a dry sump and a significantly more compact clutch assembly with a 20% smaller exterior diameter than the current gearbox has shaved 15 millimeters off the installed height in the car, which in turn lowers the center of gravity of the running gear by the same amount. Despite the addition of an 8th gear and a maximum torque boost to 900 Nm, the latter an increase of 20% on the current 7-speed, the gearbox overall weight is actually 7 kilograms lower. That figure rises to 10 kilograms with the elimination of the reverse gear, now incorporated in the function of the front electric motors. 6. The chassis. There are similarities with the F8, and if you look at pictures of the two bodies in white side by side, they may look similar, but Ferrari assures us that the chassis has been completely redesigned. It's still mostly aluminum, but there's a carbon fiber bulkhead behind the seats, a superalloy called pinnacle throughout, and some of the aluminum is now hollow cast. This results in a body that has 40% greater torsional rigidity and 20% more bending resistance, all with no increase in weight. The Fiorano pack that was on my SF90, and which you should order on yours, comes with even more carbon fiber throughout, including the seats, hood, bumpers, wheels, deck lid, spoiler, and intake plenum. The Fiorano pack also gets titanium springs and aluminum shock housings for weight savings. 7. The acronyms. There are more acronyms on this car than in a branch of the federal government, but taken together they make the whole car work effortlessly. Ferrari says the new hybrid architecture required extensive and lengthy integration work on the car's many different control logics. That includes high-voltage system controls, battery, RACE, MGUK, inverter, engine and gearbox control, and vehicle dynamics controls, traction, braking, torque vectoring. New systems were invented to introduce new features. The ESSC, electronic side slip control, has 3 means to distribute torque to all 4 wheels. Electric traction control, HCE, distributes torque to the individual wheels. Brake-by-wire control with ABS/EBD splits braking between the hydraulic system and the electric motors. Torque vectoring sends torque to individual front wheels as needed. 8. The interior. Just as the exterior was designed to take maximum advantage of the air through which it moves, the SF90's interior is designed to get you, the driver, maximum performance from the car without making you uncomfortable. The most noticeable difference on this new car is the 16-inch screen that curves around the driver's field of view. It has several different configurations, with the default being a huge tachometer in the center surrounded by other functions. You can make all 16 inches into just the NAV screen, for instance, or mix and match to suit your drive at any given time. Likewise, the head-up display keeps the driver informed, while an 8.8-inch screen lets the passenger know just how fast he or she is being driven. 9. The driving. As I said, this is now my favorite sports or supercar. On the road, it not only tracks the truest through corners, powers off the line and away from apexes with every one of those 1,000 cavalinos, but does it with absolutely no brutality. After a day behind the wheel, you will not need any ibuprofen at all. Unlike some manufacturers, even the SF90 with the Fiorano package manages to be comfortable while handling better than just about anything out there without sponsorship logos on it. The feel of the titanium springs is progressive, with small frequency bumps being eaten up before the rest of the springs firmly resist and absorb the larger whoops. 10. The price. The SF90 Stradale has a base MSRP of $507,300. Don't let that price knock you down, because the car I drove stickered at $700,979. Yes, my car had $193,679 worth of options, mostly carbon fiber trim pieces. The Aceto Fiorano package was only $6,240. Most of the nearly $200,000 in options actually did go to making the car lighter. Ferrari only lists dry weight without fluids at 1570 gigs, or 3454 pounds with optional extras that we can assume means with the Aceto Fiorano package. Thank you for watching.